Alright guys, so as distinguished from algorithms, am I spelling pseudo wrong again? No? Pseudocode? Okay, so I think I spent all last semester spelling this word wrong.
It's EU. It's EU.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did you Google it?
I googled it.
Okay, see? I told you, I spent all semester spelling that wrong.
That's weird.
Yeah, whatever. Spelling's arbitrary. Dumb. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, but you're math.
Math is not arbitrary. Math is designed to model physics.
Yeah, Rick 3X would like to argue too on how
We can talk about that later.
Most of the time I'm talking to
Anyway, pseudocode is a little bit like an algorithm, but more codey. Okay, so what do I mean by that? An algorithm is like a list of instructions kind of in English for how to do something. If you want to write your algorithm in a different language that you speak, that's totally fine. Right? I don't want to be English-centric here. Right? The difference between an algorithm and pseudocode is that pseudocode is going to be honest to God, almost code that you could really pretty close to execute the way it is.
just without syntax.
Yeah, so this is going to be without language-specific syntax, meaning that I can take a piece of pseudocode and hand it to somebody who writes in C and somebody who writes in Java, and they can equally read it, understand what's going on, and implement that code. Okay, see that? Some things might be harder, right? Like if I reference an object in my pseudocode and then I ask you to write this in Fortran, a language that doesn't have objects, you're going to have a rough day, right? It's not impossible, it's just not best suited for that language. You guys kind of with me on that? Okay, so pseudocode is going to be code-like instructions well, and instructions is kind of a weird word here, right? This is going to be like a template for code. And it's not language specific. Okay, it is going to include things like variables names and what you intend them to do. You guys good with that? Names and types. It'll include if syntax, right? So if statements, loops, and maybe other code features if available. Right? So what I mean by if available, I mean if you know them. Right? So if you know another code feature beyond an if statement or a loop, feel free to put it into your pseudocode. So if you happen to know how objects work, feel free to put your object kind of ideas and methods in here. If you know the difference between methods and functions, you might want to specify which things are which. This is going to include some functions. Should definitely go in here. And they should be named. You guys cool with this? This is like all the code, but without the semicolons, essentially. especially in a plain English language like processing is. Most of the like kind of commands you use in processing, right? Most of the little bits and bobs of code you write really have a lot of English in them. So the difference for you guys between processing code and pseudocode is going to be pretty minimal. It's good with that? You should probably include any specific formulas you intend to use, or some notes about where you intend to get certain things. So if I intend to use some complex math stuff, I should probably note somewhere in my pseudocode that I'm going to import a complex math library. Even if I don't know what library that is specifically, because I'm not, again, not language specific. I might state my intention to import a library. You guys probably don't know anything about libraries yet. Is that true?
Libraries
Yeah.
store information in them, or like go.
Yeah, a code library and a regular library are really similar, except there's no overdue fees at the code libraries. Right, so it's just a place you go to get information.
There's no fees if you don't bring the books back.
That's also true. If you just flat steal stuff
Yeah.
from the library, there are no late fees. There may be charges depending on where you live, but
Still have to be polite. And assuming you get caught.
No charges.
and assuming you get caught. Yeah, okay, nothing's illegal until you're caught. That's true. All right. Any questions on the idea of pseudocode? Okay, cool.